I'm Crystal Taylor, and I'm community evangelist here at SolarWinds. And I have been in tech for about 13 years, and I've been working with SolarWinds software for also about 13 years. And with me today is Jeff.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Stewart. I'm Vice President of Product here at SolarWinds. I've been at SolarWinds for 13 years now. Loved every minute of it, and excited about THWAC Camp this year.
Heck yes, we're always excited about THWAC Camp. We're excited to kick things off today, and we're going to talk first about the theme of THWAC Camp, which might be a little confusing for everyone. Decomplexify IT. What the heck does that even mean?
Decomplexify. I've practiced that word so many times this week to get ready for this. I think it's really about simplification, right? We've seen an explosion in technology. We've seen an explosion in software, and things have ultimately become more complex. So how can we help our users, our community, decomplexify?
Absolutely. It has gotten insane. And to jump into the complexities of how tech has gotten over the past, let's say, 10-ish years, SolarWinds has been around a long time. This is the 25th anniversary of SolarWinds being in business with their software. Really the 25th anniversary of Engineers Toolset, since that was the first piece. Which is still around and still kicking. We love it. And tech has gone through a lot of change, just even in the last 5 years, much less 10 years. Just watching the advent of, really virtualization taking off, and that, kind of at the beginning of that taking off, seeing people move away from physical servers, seeing some people now moving back to physical servers. I find that interesting. Going to the cloud, and then some people now are moving back to the cloud. I find that that's been like a crazy conversation that's been happening a lot lately because cloud costs have increased. And cloud is not the space for everything.
That's right. To your point, like the last 10 years, all of these changes, right? And I think a lot of the advancements in technology have improved things, but at the same time, we've got more things, right? Think about IoT and the number of devices out there now and the need to understand how those are performing. To your point, cloud. So we've seen explosion in cloud adoption, both single cloud, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, cloud. So you've got workloads all over the place. And I think also, the advancements in application development. So microservices and distributed deployments, it's become quite complex.
Yes, absolutely. And like the worst part about all of it is no longer do you manage all of those things, right? Now you have to use other services to access information from those things, especially things in the cloud, right? That's managed by the cloud provider. That's not managed by you. So there's like less visibility, and that puts a hamper on making things work smoothly. And that's been an interesting kind of problem for the industry to tackle of like, how do we even know what's going on over there? How do we know when our ISPs are failing and when it's on our side and all of that stuff? And that's been kind of an interesting transition over the years of watching it get more murky, I guess, right? Like trying to see through the data to understand how we can improve things, in IT and like get to the bottom of an issue, do root cause analysis, but without having all access to the data. And recently, that's been clearing up a lot more. Like we can now access more data from more places to get these things.
Yes, there's been an explosion in data for sure as well, right? And so the need to connect that data that is highly distributed at this point and instantaneously, as we like to be served up, right? We want that instant gratification in everything we do. And so pulling all of that data together and really trying to interpret what it means is also complex.
Yes. And is that data accurate, right? Like, I think that's the biggest problem that we have. One of the biggest booms of the last 5 years is AI really starting to take off, right? We're using AI, machine learning in more pieces of software in more places. Our devs in every environment are using AI to kind of ease workloads, right? Which is great. I mean, that's what we want. We want our technology to make our lives easier. But at the same time, you have to, AI is only as good as the data that it's based on. So making sure that your data is relevant and accurate all the time has been a challenge as well in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've talked to a lot of customers recently about this explosion in AI. I think 2023 AI was the buzzword, right? As we've gone into 24, we're starting to see the actual application of it. So people are implementing it across IT. So it's embedded in software now. software developers are using Copilot and assistive dev. And so I think we're starting to get a handle on this AI technology, and people are really starting to understand how they can apply it, which has been great.
And, like with any newer tech, it's always scary at first, right? There's it's going to take our jobs because it's easing the workloads and they're doing jobs that we used to do manually. But at the same time, it's all the care and feeding, just like any other advent of technology. You have to learn how to use the new technology and let it help you out while you still have to take care of that technology. So while your job may change, definitely isn't going away. And that includes everything from software development to using generative AI to write content, or to help you write your resume, or like any number of other things that people are using it for. It's my friend Sean Seabury likes to say that generative AI especially, is a tool that we can use, and you should look at it as such and not something that's trying to take over. And I think that's really interesting. Like you watch all of these things and you always hear the grumblers, right? We've been in tech for a long time. And so there's always people that are like resistant to the changes and like, oh, this isn't going to help me as much or whatever. And if you can take a few minutes and look into it, you'll see that it's not none of the new technology is trying to take over your job, right? And I think learning how to address that complexity and those new things and all of that is only going to help you, and is only going to help decomplexify your own workload.
That's right. That is the intent of technology, right? It's improvements in what we do and assisting what we do. And so I think it is very important to understand and learn how to use that technology, but in a way to assist you in your current duties, or whatever you're doing in life. And I think that's the idea around some of these newer technologies. How can we be more efficient with what we're doing? How can we be more secure with software development? And leveraging some of these technologies can certainly help if applied appropriately.
Absolutely. I mean, even you mentioned secure, and that just immediately brought to mind all the changes in security that have come, right? I mean, in the past 10 years, we have, because of all these increasing complexities and the distribution of data and the distribution of workloads across, cloud and on-premises and, data centers all over the world, and then the distributed work of the people who are actually working on those things, the pandemic caused a big influx of remote workforce and like all of these new things. I mean, IoT brought up earlier, all of these things, people bringing in phones and all of that has changed security landscape quite a lot. And that's been just fascinating to watch people as they're learning, and we're as an industry, we're learning how to combat that and how to continue to move forward while being secure while we're doing it.
100%. And I think to your point, like everything is connected now. Everything is connected, right? And so I think we've got a new level of complexity for security professionals and how they think about protecting employees and protecting data and customers. And so, I think we've definitely got to continue to focus on security, make advancements in security, and do it as a community and be transparent and sharing.
Absolutely. I love that thought. Just collaboration in general. Like we need to come together to make it all an easier, better world for all of us in technology, right? There's competition, which is always good and healthy, and we need that as well. But I think security especially, we should be helping each other out, right? We're here to help each other move forward in a productive way that the industry can all move forward together. And that includes in security.
100%.
So, I mean, that's a lot of change. And I'm sure that we have not covered anything. I mean, we didn't even get into containers and all of that, how that has changed the industry as well. I think there's a lot more we could go into about how much the industry has changed and gotten more complex and all of these new data points. And to that end, SolarWinds has had to change to accommodate all of this complexity. Like we have recognized that everyone of our customers is going through these struggles as well, right? They're having to deal with IoT. They're having to deal with the hybridization. They're having to deal with the distributed workforce, all of these problems that everyone is having. And so we as a company have had to evolve along the way as well.
Yeah. And that's been really awesome to be a part of that journey. Prior to SolarWinds, I was a customer, a SWAC MVP. And one of the things that I really loved about SolarWinds is the product team and how they were connected with customers through the community. And what that ultimately translated into is decomplexifying the lives of IT professionals through the products that they were building. And so I think the evolution from the time I started SolarWinds to now has just been really amazing to watch. I mean, we've gone through numerous iterations and advancements of our platform and offering. We've gone from monitoring to observability. We've made changes in how we license the offering. So really just thinking about, the feedback that we get from our customers and how we can take that into account and make it easier.
I could not agree more. Also was an MVP before I joined SolarWinds, and one of my favorite things to do was visit with UX and visit with the product managers. It really feels like they listen to the community. And now, I work here now, but I really believed it even then, and I still believe it now. It's so fun to get to talk to a product manager about the work that they've been doing and why they've been doing that work. I recently talked to Derek Daly about something, and he's so passionate about the work that he's been doing over the past couple of years, and getting to hear the whys and the wherefores and like what we're doing to try and simplify things and try to provide solutions to problems that we know our customers are having is just a constant source of joy and fascination. Like if every software I ever used was that responsive, and shout out to the community because I love it and I work there. Shout out to the community. It's a great place. And if every piece of software I ever used was as responsive, I think the industry as a whole would be a better place. Like we can have things, out there that are perfect for us and things that are perfect for someone else. But just knowing that someone is out there and they're hearing that, yes, we're having these problems, and they're listening and like working on those things, ways to address it in any way they can, is fascinating. I mean, just in the last year, the new features that have come out, and I've been around a long time. I talk about alerting all the time. I'm going to talk about alerting during this SWAT camp. It is a perpetual issue, and we've made great strides in improving the reduction of alert noise. There's too many words. It's complex. We made great strides to reducing that, because we know people set up email inbox rules to ignore alerts, and it doesn't help you. So just knowing that we've been working towards that and getting to sit in sometimes on those customer sessions has been like really fascinating.
Yeah. I think, when I think about the history of our alerting engine and the capabilities of the alerting engine, super powerful. You can do so much with it. I remember going from our Win32 version to the web-based version, and a little bit of the functionality wasn't the same, and users freaked out because they loved the ability to just really customize and focus in on the alerts. But to your point, at some point in time, we got to this place where it's alert overload, alert fatigue. You're getting all of these alerts and you're just not paying attention. You become numb to what's happening. And so I think some of the improvements that you mentioned, Derek, has done in the platform around anomalous alerting and really looking at alerts and identifying what's normal, what's not normal, what should I pay attention to, when should I pay attention to it, and then how do we correlate that to what's the actual problem, right? How do we get into some root cause analysis through some of this, new technologies that we're taking advantage of?
Absolutely. We want to reduce the amount of time you have to spend looking at these alerts and get you to the problem sooner. Getting to sit in during conversations while they were developing things like Alert Stack and anomalous alerting was also incredibly fascinating. But getting to see how where the thought process is and how they're working with machine learning and AI to kind of develop this system to tell you what is normal or not normal, right? What is anomalous? This has been going on. If it's the same thing that happens every week and you get an alert on it because you set up a basic alert, that's not helpful. Like, this maintenance is going to happen or this task is going to happen every single week. You're getting an alert on it, you're going to ignore it, and you might miss something actually important at some point later. So I think it's been really interesting to see those advancements, and they're continuing to improve as well. Like they've launched earlier last year or the year before, and I don't keep a timeline. They launched earlier, but even since then, there's been improvements in those functionalities as well. And it just we've done that for years and years, especially because we're on the subject of alerting, especially in the alerting platform. I mean, you brought up the old alerts. I think the GUI was called the basic alerts. And I definitely remember working with that. And then it moved to the advanced alert manager, and that was also a server side application. And just thinking about how we've moved most functionality to the web platform, and it's so much easier to use and access. You don't have to give server access anymore. Just those improvements alone has been a huge game changer for a lot of people. Now you can give people alert management rights where they can make their own alerts. And that's at least 6 or 7 years old that we've done that. But over time, we continuous improvement, I think, is the key functionality that you're looking at there. We're continuing to listen and hear the struggles and make improvements that impact the way that you use these pieces of functionality.
Yes, community-sourced improvements is how I think about that, right? All of the feedback that we're taking in from our customers and prospects and Thwack users and MVPs, and translating that into a meaningful product that improves their lives, that decomplexifies things. And so that's the focus at SolarWinds, right? We want to be able to take all of this new complexity that's been introduced, leverage it, but make it easier for IT professionals to do their jobs on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And we've harped on about alerting, so I'll move on from alerting because we're going to have a whole session on that if you want to get a deeper dive into what we've got going on there. But other improvements that have been interesting to kind of witness over the years, just because I've been around the software for so long as you have, I learned today. I think that it's really interesting to see all of these things, these integrations that pull more data together. I mean, just talking about the upgrade process, the upgrade process has changed drastically over the years and is so fast now. I think the last Thwack camp that we had, or 2 Thwack camps ago, I don't know, we had people doing upgrades during Thwack camp, because we had talked about the improvements to the upgrade process. And that was just wonderful interaction, wonderful community interaction. Get in the chat and talk about stuff you're doing, people. It's great. We're here to help. Our MVPs are generally in the chat. People are here to help. And then after the event, go to Thwack because that'll continue over there. But I think it's just really fascinating to see how much those improvements have impacted our users over time, that it's really about saving time and reducing the complexity. Because let me tell you, if you weren't around 10 years ago, upgrades were complex. And no shade, I worked on the products for a long time. There was a whole process, and now it is so simple. It's so simple to upgrade and so easy to add an evaluation, and so easy to, it's like checking a box. It's all there now, where before you'd have to go through the whole installation process and take your server offline. And software as a whole has done this as well. But I think that for me, that was a huge impact. I was I can remember 13-hour plus upgrade processes for servers. And whenever I saw the Falcon installer for the first time, which was several years ago now, but I was just what? This upgrade's only going to take me 4 hours. And then it went down to 2 hours. And now it's people can do their upgrades in 20, 30 minutes. And I think that has been so fun to witness and to be a part of, just how much it's changed and improved.
Yeah. And that's the focus, right? Continuous experience improvements for our users. So how can we think about our customers, how they leverage the software and improve that overall experience? And that's upgrades, that's performance, that's workflows, that's alert noise reduction. Everything that we're doing, we're thinking about the customer first and trying to put that into the experience. I think it even translates into some of the newer things that we've done, like our cloud native offering, SolarWinds Observability. The ability to take your existing platform that's on-prem and by check of a button start to ship the data up to our cloud native offering and visualize your on-prem workload data within 5 minutes has been crazy to see customers' reactions to that. They're like, "What? This is awesome."
Yeah, I feel like I had that reaction when they first showed it. It's definitely a step forward. We're moving into the future, folks. We're trying to meet you where you are in your journey. Like, we know you got distributed workloads all over the place and you need this information to solve these problems. And yeah, just being able to be, it's so fast now. It's so fast now. And it's wonderful getting that, reducing that time to getting it set up, getting things where you can actually use that data, getting to a usable place. And then, all these other advents of like the machine learning and all of that just mixed in where it kind of tells you what things are anomalous and not anomalous. Like it's all improvements moving forward. And I just love it.
Yeah. And you mentioned like meeting customers where they are on their journey, right? Where they are in maturity in terms of monitoring or observability. And so, a big focus for us is kind of living up to that, right? And so, we've got our self-hosted offering that gives you a hybrid visibility, whether you've got on-prem workloads or cloud workloads or multi-cloud workloads. But if you are ready to transition to that cloud native offering, SolarWinds Observability, you get the same level of visibility of your on-prem workloads, as well as, the advantages that we can take advantage of. I need to decomplexify that conversation from, the cloud native performance.
Absolutely. Everyone's not in the same place on their journey. I mean, just look at, federal or government customers, right? They're in air gap networks, and there's plenty of other folks out there like that, right? They can't move to the cloud for everything. So we know that we're trying to work with what you've got and make sure that you can still do the work you need to do on a daily basis to get things done. And that's great. I think one of the things that's been really interesting over the years is watching these kind of acquisitions and advents of new software and technology, right? I mean, we've got on over here on the screen, we've got some old versions of technology, and you can see like Cirrus, right? That, which, if you don't know, is NCM. Is the underlying product behind that. But like there are so many things over the years that we say that piece of technology is going to help out so much. And then we work to find a way to integrate it into our existing technology to improve everything. I mean, there's been so many over the years. I think Service Desk is one of the more recent ones that's been really interesting, and getting all of that integrated and working together in the automation options that are there. And now we have the enterprise service management things that are coming up. There's also going to be a Thwack Camp session about that. It's really interesting to watch how it's growing and improving so that we can reduce the complexity.
Yeah, you mentioned Cirrus, and I know we showed kind of the old way that we delivered software, right? It's like a actual physically printed, admin guide with a CD in there, and so we've come a long ways from those days, and even how that was implemented, and it was totally separate from NPM, and then kind of merging those into the single platform and moving that forward, along with the other, the other problems that we recognized that we needed to solve for our users. So it's been really cool to see that.
This is like one of the early ones for me. I definitely recognize this interface.
Yep.
And it's crazy how much it's changed. We've got even the SolarWinds orange has changed over the years, right? Like that's more of a Texas Longhorn orange there.
Hook 'em horns. You can start to see, kind of the evolution of the UI too, and even some of the name changes that we made to make it easier to understand the problems we're solving. So definitely kind of a blast from the past here, going through some of these things.
Yes, yeah, it's a walk down memory lane with us. This is great. I think you were talking about name changes. I think that's been really interesting to see over the years. Is like, well, I brought up Cirrus earlier, but there's been plenty of other ones that you're just like, well, what does that word like? Like when Trigeo was acquired, for instance, like, what does Trigeo mean? It means nothing to anybody. So, we changed it to the Security Event Manager. I think that's been really interesting to watch over the years as well. We're slowly trying to make it a little easier to understand. I mean, whether that's with licensing, I don't know if you remember, but licensing used to be very complex.
Yes. And being in sales engineering prior to my product role, we definitely heard the feedback on that, right? And so there's been a number of improvements that we've made based upon that feedback to really simplify how customers or prospects can consume and buy our software. Not just from licensing, although I would say that's a huge part of it, and the license flexibility that you get with HCO, but also how our account teams interact with customers, and really focusing on an account team mentality where we have an account executive, a customer service manager, all connected, a renewals representative focused on a single account as a team versus kind of individual silos. So really understanding our customers and their needs at an account level versus individual silos. So it's been really cool to watch that evolution as well.
Yeah. And, we talked a little bit about kind of collaboration in the industry earlier, and that's like collaboration right inside, right? We're trying to improve your experience in every way possible. This is a very familiar dashboard to me. This is probably where I spent a few years working on this kind of era of the Orion platform. And I have spent countless hours making dashboards for people in this framework here. And it's changed a lot. This is you can look at the color changes, the graphs, you can already see like your chart changes here that have made a big impact. It really makes a difference to what we're looking at. I mean, this is around when, forecasting was starting to get a bit bigger. The improvements are crazy.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because as we get into 2024, we're again investing in that experience and focused on UI and UX and how we can improve that. I think you've seen a lot of that with SolarWinds Observability, which we're showing right here, which is a totally different UI than I think, our Orion or HCO customers are used to. So I'm excited to start getting feedback on that and continually learn and evolve and grow with our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a chance, share your feedback. And you do have a chance. You can do it on Thwack anytime. But if you have a chance to ever get to meet with our UX team, take us up on the idea that you should do that. We definitely want to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Oh, now we're getting into old things that we put out. We've got coffee mugs here. That really large coffee mug. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Going public for a second time. I was actually at New York for this. It was insane.
Wow.
We took a bunch of the employees to it, and it was, lifetime experience for me for sure, getting to be on the floor and see that happen.
That's really cool. I was not here for that, but I heard, they still have the party bunting up in some floors of the office. So it's always fun to come in and see that. So Sadmin, yeah, I have this at home. If you missed out, you missed it. It's gone. I have that shirt. Awesome. We've gone through a lot. And check the Thwack store. There's more shirts coming in all the time.
I love this one. Go ahead, break my day.
It's there were koozies also. And I have like a whole bunch of the koozies. Well, this is Texas. Yeah, this has been a fun walk down memory lane. I think it's been, it's just been a long time. And being able to be a part of it after being kind of adjacent to it and seeing things happening and being part of conversations as like a partner and a customer and all of that before has been a little bit different since I've gotten here. I get to be involved in more conversations now, but I think that just watching it kind of evolve over the years and knowing those pain points and then watching those pain points get solved has been so satisfying for me.
Yeah. For me, it's been a great 13 years, and I look forward to the next 13 and, the improvements that we can make and the advancements in technology and really our focus on decomplexifying things.
Absolutely. I think that the more we can decomplexify, the happier everyone will be. And, I'm shocked we did so well and we did not say some weird version of decomplexify, which we were worried about.
I had to practice. I'll admit, I had to practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us for this trip down memory lane. It's been fun for me.
Me as well. I enjoyed the conversation.
Stay tuned for the rest of ThwackCamp. We're going to dive in deeper to some of these product things and many things that we didn't already talk about. We've got some great customer stories as well. So, hang out. We're going to have prizes every day. It's going to be a good time, and talk to us in the chat.